Hello, my international professionals and entrepreneurs. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Storani, your international career strategist, personal brander, and today I have a very special guest, Leon. He is ex-LinkedIn recruiter, and we are going to talk about LinkedIn for personal branding and international career. Thank you very much for being here, Leon. And Leon, Irish say Leon, right?
It's whatever way you want to say. It could be Leon, it could be Leon if you're speaking Spanish, or Leon if you're speaking French, or Leon if you're speaking Portuguese. So it fits all languages, or the main ones anyway. But it's a pleasure to be here and talking to all of you. Hopefully, helping you on the journey of getting that job, international job that you all want.
Yeah, thank you. So, tell a little bit about yourself. What's your background, your story? Where do you come from?
What's my elevator pitch? So, Leon, I'm from Brazil originally. I came to Ireland 11 years ago when I decided that law, it wasn't something that I wanted to do. So I needed to learn English because in Brazil, I wanted to become a trainee. That's what I wanted to do. And to be a trainee in general, you need English, or you needed back then 11 years ago. Came to Ireland to learn English. It's been 11 years since I'm here, and I didn't go back. I love the country, love the culture. There are a lot of job opportunities here as well. So I was able to not only find what I wanted to do, which is HR recruitment, but also advanced my career quite a lot because of the opportunities that we have here. I worked with LinkedIn for 3 years. Officially left the company on Monday, was my last day. And I'm gonna have the month of July off, and then month of June off, and then in July I will join my next adventure as a recruiter for a different big tech company here in Ireland.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey guys, whoever is in Instagram, we are live on YouTube. You can ask your questions there, okay? So let's start our, topics. So the first one.
Yeah.
So the first topic is best practices to use LinkedIn in order to get noticed by recruiters. Focus on international positions.
Yeah. So, I mean, starting with the basics, right, of LinkedIn. First of all, and I say this because I see a lot of files every day as a recruiter, and a lot of people don't do that, which is to have a complete profile, top to bottom, from your background picture all the way down to recommendations that people would make onto your profile. I don't want to go into every single topic and talk about every single section, but it's really important that you have a complete profile that people think that they have completed, but they haven't actually, is on the experience. When they are talking about the jobs, they usually, or a lot of the times, they will leave only their job title. And what we are looking for as recruiters, we want to know what the company is about, especially when you are applying for roles outside of your country, and you could be working for organizations that the recruiter would not know much about. So it's important to have a quick overview of what the organization is, what was your role, what were your responsibilities, your achievements, different projects that you work on. It's really important to have a complete profile, really important to use those keywords that are used in your industry all across your profile, about missed action, experiences, and all that. That's really important as well. And something that you can explore when you are not in the country yet that you want to work in is change your location to the reality that you wanna work, and see how attractive it would be, see if recruiters would reach out to you. And then last but not least, talking about international careers, maybe I'll leave that for later, otherwise I'll be talking too much.
Very good, very good. We have already some people here, like, hello, fala português. Juicy, today we're going to speak in English. I'm really sorry. Look, go Brazilians, yeah! So we have a question. How do I get the recruiter's attention on my LinkedIn by introducing my profile? So again, have a full profile, right?
Yeah, so let's talk about the profiler because that's the core of why you have to do. So once you have your profile complete, okay, you look at your profile and you have your background picture, you have a nice profile picture, you have your headline telling what your specialty is according to the lingo that is used within the industry. You have your about me section that talks about your journey, your skills, what you want to achieve, your passions, and etc. All of your experiences, all of your skills. You have a nice number of connections. You have people recommending your work. And then that's when, or not then, but then the next thing is to be active on LinkedIn, right? And what do I mean by that is engaging with content from people of your industry or the industry that you want to work in. So let's say you want to work within the sales industry, in the tech world. So you start to network with those individuals, add them to your network, and engage with the content that they create. Then the next step is yourself creating content. And you can start with sharing articles, and you think your network is valuable. And then last but not least, when you feel comfortable, you can start creating your own content. And using LinkedIn, having a complete LinkedIn profile and being, let's call it, social on LinkedIn will increase your chances of coming up on the searches when the recruiters are looking for professionals in your industry.
Yeah, it's really important to remember that LinkedIn have your social media, the personal branding and social media LinkedIn, and have the recruiter LinkedIn, which is a tool. It's a software, it's a service, it's a product sold to multinationals, okay? So this product, it's completely different from your LinkedIn profile. It's completely different from the LinkedIn you guys have. It's another software that recruiters have access to a very powerful search. This search, they can search you by years of experience, if you have or not bachelor degree. So it's important to have your bachelor degree linked to the LinkedIn profile, all right? They can find you through open to opportunities. If you have your profile with the open to opportunity sign, they can find you through this as well. They can find you through following the company. So if you follow the company, or if you have anyone connected from the same company, they're also able to find you. So there are many ways you can get the recruiter's attention on LinkedIn, but you have to use it, right? You have to have
100%.
it complete. The profile complete. You had the profile completed. You have to have a very well written summary, because guys, what do you really want? Tell me the truth, Leon. Tell me the truth. When you see a LinkedIn profile, what's the first thing you check? Is the job titles? Is the summary? Or is the descriptions of the job title?
Yeah, so every recruiter can have a different answer, but what we are trying to do in the end as recruiters is to fill those roles that we are working on, and in the most efficient way. What does it mean? It means hiring the best person that we can, the fastest way that we can, right? So when a recruiter is going to hundreds of LinkedIn profile, he or she has to be able to identify very quickly if you are the person that is going to solve their problems. Okay, so if I'm looking for a sales professional, I want to see that on the job title, and I want to see that on the job description. So that's the first answer that I, as a recruiter, I look the answer for. Let's say I'm looking for an engineer. Is that individual an engineer? I'm looking for a civil engineer. Have civil engineer in your title. Okay, so make the life of the recruiter and of the hiring manager that is looking for talent like you easier. So clear job title, clear job description and experiences, and also a well-built about section or summary.
Yeah, the about section, it has to be well written, guys, with no grammar mistakes and no No soft skills as well. So it's a big mistake when you say, I am a proactive, hardworking, and punctual professional with years of experience in sales. Okay. That's not what we want to hear. That's not what we want to see. We want to see results.
Yeah.
We want to see achievements. Right?
Yeah. The problem with the, you can be a punctual professional and hard worker and all that, but is usually when you are stating something about your profile, it would be good if you have an information to back that up. It would be a fact or with a hard result with a number attached to it, even better. So when people say that they are a hard worker and they are punctual and they are this and that, is usually an empty information. They're just stating that with nothing else coming after, and it's usually harder to not to prove, but to come up with a structured way to say, okay, I'm punctual because I did X, Y, and Z. So that's the reason why, in general, we should avoid use that type of terminology.
Buzzwords, we say.
Buzzwords.
Casinara asked, and if we want to change our career to an area that we do not dominate yet, how can we create content once we are new on that?
That's a good question, and Casinara, good question, and that's exactly how you're kind of answering your question. So if you, let's say, for example, I'm gonna use my own story. Okay, I did law in Brazil, and here I wanted to migrate to the HR sector. I did not do that on LinkedIn. I wasn't using LinkedIn that much back then, but if I was to do this transition today, I would start, first of all, to connect with people within the industry that I wanted to work in. So HR industry, recruiters, HR business partners, HR generalists, and so on. Engage with the content that they are creating, okay? And then starting to, let's say, if I wanted to join the HR industry back then, I was reading articles, I was checking different websites with very valuable information. And those would be the things that I would start sharing on LinkedIn until I was comfortable to maybe share something with my own opinion or my own point of view. I went to college, for example, here in Ireland to study human resources. If you are studying, if you are a student, leverage that as well. What did you learn in class today that would be worth sharing? What did you see on the news that would be worth sharing, and asking people's opinions about it? So there is a lot out there that you can create and showcase that that's an industry that you either have passion on or you're building expertise on. So a couple of things, again, build your network, engage with that content, and everything that you find valuable, you start sharing that way.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, everything you study. I used to write reviews from the articles I used to study. So I'm going to start, now I'm going to start an executive course in strategic business management. And, I'm already, like thinking I'm going to write all the articles on LinkedIn and in my website.
That's it. It is complicated. I'm trying to create content and it's super hard, but it should not be, because opportunities to create content happens every single day. This is an opportunity for me, an opportunity for Tana, an opportunity for you, Casinara, to go on LinkedIn and talk about this. It would be the same thing, and we all have our different point of view.
Yes, exactly.
So we have to pay maybe a little bit more attention.
Very good. We have another question. Bruno is asking, LinkedIn's courses seems to me a bit unprofessional to be included in my resume. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's like the job market understands that I am amateur or beginner on that role. What do you think? Should I put on it? What's your opinion?
Yeah, no, for sure. Put it on mainly there's a specific space for you after you finish your course, place your courses there. And that shows that you have, let's buzzword, the growth mindset, that you're always learning. always pushing yourself and try to become more knowledgeable.
Exactly.
And that's always a good indicative for recruiters. Also, that's great for own profile, and if you don't them, make sure that you place them on your profile.
Yeah, of course. There are specific courses, certifications that are more important in certain areas that are really like, I would say, key. For example, have an ACCA certification, have a PMI certification, or have an Oracle certification in certain areas, technical areas. Yes, it is important to have this strong certifications in your profile, into your brand. But as Leon said, doing a LinkedIn course actually shows that you have a growth mindset, that you're open to learn, that you're open to always adapt, change, improve. And that's what multinationals are looking for. They're not looking for someone ready for the role. They're looking for someone that have potential, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because the things change so quickly, especially startups in the tech world that I'm part of. So it's about being able to be there, and maybe in 3 months' time, the role that you applied for is not going to be the same role. So you have to be able to show that you have that adaptability, and that you're always eager to learn. So
very good. Look, we have a question here. I have a friend who got a job in Portugal through LinkedIn course. Look. Woo!
Oh,
very good. And actually,
through a LinkedIn course, interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? And actually, I have a client that, well, she was always working as a waitress, and she is beautiful teacher, piano teacher, and she never worked in a multinational. She never worked as a customer service in a corporate environment, only as a waitress. So I told her to do all the LinkedIn courses on customer service. And during her interview in the multinational she works today, she was actually asked about the course and the insights she got from it. And she got the job.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, for sure. Especially for roles, like customer service. LinkedIn has now paths for different that people want to follow. I don't have the right link now. There are a couple of courses that LinkedIn made available for free, for example, to become a customer support individual, or a data analyst, or a business intelligence analyst. There are career paths that will be hours and hours and hours long for you to complete, and not everyone have the resource sometimes do those courses. So it's a good opportunity for you to showcase your skills and maybe get a entry-level role where not so much experience will be required.
Very good. So we have a lot of questions here in regards to LinkedIn posts and articles. Okay, can you tell us best practices on posting articles, writing articles and posting on LinkedIn?
Okay, so we have a couple of different ways of posting on LinkedIn. Article, I would usually recommend as being maybe one of the last things that you do, because it's an area where you can type as many characters as you want, and they're usually more, well, they shouldn't, but they are usually a little bit more, people usually go into a little bit more in depth into the details and the subject that they are talking about. So before trying to start sharing articles or creating articles, try to start sharing content that you find valuable. So other articles of magazines that you read, for example, Harvard Business Review, things that you find interesting start sharing your own opinion, and then you create the cadence of posting. And once you feel comfortable, you can start creating articles. If ready, happy days, do it. In regards to best practice, the main question usually is how often should I post on LinkedIn? And my answer is as often as you can, as long as you are adding value to your network. Would you be happy to see your post on your timeline, and would you be interested on it? Would it be adding value to you? I'd say that should be your logic when you are creating content on LinkedIn, because it's only when other people see value on what you're posting that they engage with your content, and that LinkedIn will push your content to other people, and that your profile will get more noticed. If you don't post something if you post something just for the sake of posting, if it's not relevant, and if people are not gonna click through it, take time to go through it, LinkedIn won't push that content to anyone, and therefore you're not gonna get any visibility. So take your time to create something of value. I think that's the main goal when you are posting on LinkedIn. And value, just to finalize, value can be either something that would educate people, but value could be also entertainment. All right, so people like, even though LinkedIn is a professional platform, we can have a bit of entertainment there,
a bit of fun
as well. So don't worry about that. Yes, a bit of fun.
Also, I think would be very good to mention the hashtags.
Yes. So
I'm gonna show here to them the hashtags.
Oh, you're gonna show something there. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's give me a hashtag that you use a lot.
LinkedIn.
Yeah. Obvious, of course. So for some reason, when I search for LinkedIn, it brings all the content that have LinkedIn, the hashtag LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But how do I actually go to the hashtag? Sometimes it happens that like then I have to go in the post.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not really straightforward. So if you go on to, there you go.
Yeah. So there you go.
Cool.
Guys, now you can follow hashtags. So what happens is LinkedIn have a very strict algorithm. So you cannot see or be seen after the third level connection, right? So whatever you post, only if you don't hashtag, only your connections can see the post. You must hashtag, right?
Yeah, so hashtag on the connections first. You cannot see beyond your third degree of connection. So think about your third cousin, for example. You won't be able to see beyond them. The hashtag, what it really is just another way of your content, another stream where your content can get pushed, because people follow hashtags, and when you follow hashtag, LinkedIn would throw contents that are tagged with that hashtag onto your timeline as well. So it's just another way to push your content to other members in the platform.
Exactly. So it's a way that all these people that's following, for example, doubling jobs, see your post, and also you can check whoever is posting the hashtag and send a message. Generally, what are the hashtags recruiters use the most?
Oh, that's a good question. I would not know. Probably we are hiring. We are hiring, doubling jobs, career opportunity, job opportunity. That's
career
LinkedIn.
Opportunity, yeah.
And then one nice thing as well, when you are creating your own content, and let's say you are Gleivison, you become an amazing content creator. Maybe you are already, and I don't know. You can create your own hashtag So first, you are able to tag your content under that streamline, but also you can tell people to follow your hashtag, and it's a nice way to kind of measure your engagement with the people that follow your content, but also line. Once people follow the hashtag, they are more likely to see your content when you post it.
And Lais have a very good question. Do you think it's a good idea to share content in Portuguese and English, or should I choose one language?
Good question. It's a question that I ask myself, to be honest, every day. I saw people with different approaches. I think for me, because I'm in Ireland, I have a large part of my network that speaks Portuguese, but usually they are the ones that want to relocate internationally. So I decided to use English as my main and only language. I do have my profile available in Portuguese, but all the content that I create and I post on LinkedIn is in English. So it would depend who your target market is, like if it's Brazilian or if it's Portuguese speakers, write in Portuguese, or
if it's international career,
people, yeah, English.
It's English,
unless you have a specific country, Spain or Italy or France.
Yeah, and then it's in Italian, Spanish, or whatever, right? So let's talk about personal branding and LinkedIn. Personal branding is a topic that's coming up a lot, right?
Okay.
I know when I used to work at LinkedIn, they were already talking about personal branding a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how, in your opinion, of course, there are many ways to improve your personal branding, but how to use LinkedIn to leverage the power of your brand if you are looking for a new client, or if you're looking for a job, or to improve. It's everything we actually said, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think LinkedIn probably is even though it's been out there for a while, it is the better opportunity that professionals had up until, let's say, 18 years ago, to take the ownership of their professional brand, right? And you have a brand if you want or not, whatever your position is, and you can either take the ownership of your brand and take the message that you want to share, or you can let other people do for you and take their own conclusions. So on LinkedIn and through LinkedIn, it's about the content that you engage from your likes, right? I can go into your page and see all of the content that you have been engaging in the past. So let's say you are someone that wants to work in the pharmaceutical industry, and I go into your likes and shares and posts, and it's all about pharmaceutical industry. That's already playing in your favor. So what we are trying to do on LinkedIn after you have a and talking about brand, is to establish ourselves as a let's call it thought leader. So someone in the industry that not only knows about the subject that they about the industry that they work in, but someone that is willing to share their knowledge with everyone else. And I think that's how usually people establish their brand on LinkedIn. They start to share the knowledge on career, international career strategy, or on recruitment, or on civil engineer, or if you're a job seeker, it could be your journey of being a job seeker and sharing tips and advices and what is working for you, what is not working for you. That's usually the approach that people have when they're establishing their brand on LinkedIn, sharing knowledge.
Yeah, very good. Actually, do you know what I have here in my computer? You won't believe. Look, I have the Sophisticated Marketeer's Guide to Become a Thought Leader by LinkedIn. Woo!
Yeah.
So
LinkedIn.
Guys, that's it. Like what is a thought leader? What is to become a thought leadership? Again, look, here is just, like explaining what is a thought leader. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's saying both two thought leaders and content. Where is it? In a nutshell, thought leader is about sharing insights and ideas and a unique point of view that provoke new ways of thinking, spark discussions and debates, and inspire actions. A true thought leader knows a topic inside out, has formed a clear, unique, and defeasible point of view about it, and freely shares that perspective. As Leon said, there is an industry thought leadership where you're going to share a point of view on news, trends, and the future. There is a product thought leadership where you're going to share how to do best practices and strategies. And of course, organizational thought leadership, where you share company culture, talent development. This is more for recruiters and HRs. Amazing, right?
You're prepared. So LinkedIn has a lot of content on how to use LinkedIn because they want us to make the best use of it, of course, and it's for everyone's benefit and their own as well.
Exactly. So there you go. So yes, you can improve your personal branding using LinkedIn. You can share your ideas and become a thought leader, improving, showcase your expertise, branding yourself. What is branding yourself? What is branding? Is actually attract recruiters, attract people to your profile. You don't need to go run, and send message to 1,000 recruiters. The recruiters actually will find you. This is branding. And that's why personal branding is amazing. It's like you build a beautiful garden and the butterflies come to your garden. I love to give this, insight.
Yeah, but that's the the end goal when you start to receive connection invites and you don't have to work to expand your network as much. When you start to get recruiters to reach out to you to know if you are open to opportunities, or when you get different opportunities like the one that I'm having today with Anna. So that's all the end result of you building a nice brand and using LinkedIn to do so.
Very good. So we have another question here.
Right.
And it's about, I have my first interview next week. What should I not do?
That puts me on the spot. So I would like to know who the interview is with. Would it be with the recruiter? Maybe you can answer that. Who asked the question? What's her name or his name?
So that's Julia.
Julia. So is it with the interview with the recruiter, and for what role? It would be nice to have that insight. But in general, let's say that it is with the recruiter. So you're probably going to have a recruiter phone screen, and depends on the organization, on their approach, right? So usually on the tech sector, they are trying to evaluate if you do have the experience that you are stating that you have on your curriculum and your LinkedIn profile. But also they want to check on your motivations, why you're applying to work for that specific organization, and why you are applying to work for that specific role. So be able to give a quick overview, tell me about yourself, be able to share your motivations to join that organization, your motivations to apply for that role, and also to talk a little bit through your different experiences. But it would depend on the company, it would depend on the role and the industry that you're applying for. Maybe you can give us some insight there, and we are able to be potentially more specific.
Yeah, so is which questions generally a recruiter asks? Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to know about questions. How? Because we need to prepare ourselves.
So that's a very good question. But usually, questions never fail to come up, or usually come up is the opportunity for you to talk about yourself. So be ready to give a quick career overview, focus on your professional background, okay? Nothing too personal, talking about cats and dogs and etc. Then, why did you decide to apply for Google? Why do you want to join Google? Are you ready to share the reasons why? And it's not only because Google is a great company, it's an international company.
It's a big company.
Exactly. Why do you want to join? Is it because of the product? Is it because of a specific product? Is it because of something that you read on the news? Is it because you follow the CEO? You read one of the books of the founders? So give concrete reasons why you want to join their organization. Then the role specifically. So why are you applying for this customer service role? Why customer service? Well, give me 3 main reasons why you enjoy the customer service industry and serve customers. So they would be the questions that probably will come up, and then depending on the role, depending on the seniority of the role, the interview could go into certain directions, and the recruiter could dig into a little bit more or less. It would depend.
Very good. I actually have a tip here for you.
I'm sure you do.
International professionals. So you can prepare yourself. You can prepare yourself before your interview. Going to LinkedIn. Okay, so when you click jobs, when you click jobs, you will find here more an interview preparation. So LinkedIn has created a list of 26 questions and also have selected the best answers other people have given to these questions, and they also have professionals talking about best ways to answer these questions. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
I love LinkedIn.
Oh my God, it's a one-stop shop, right? You can it's not only the questions, but also it's segmented by industry. So no, it's such a good tool. Fantastic.
Yeah, very good. We have another question here about personal branding.
Okay.
So does have any relation between LinkedIn and other social media to build a professional profile? I mean, do you have to practice personal branding all social medias? Yes, of course.
So, I mean, that's why what was LinkedIn built for, like, professional social media. The other social medias can be used professionally, but probably that's not their main goal. What I would say is, if you have other social medias, you don't necessarily need to be professional there. But if there is anything that might jeopardize your chance of getting that role, either make it private or just try to minimize the opportunities to have other social medias impacting on your chances of getting a role. Me personally, as a recruiter, I don't look into other social medias. Only LinkedIn and your CV, but it could be the other recruiters will and the decision on it. So try to minimize that.
In Brazil, I know that people check Facebook. Hiring managers check Facebook. And well, when I used to work at LinkedIn in the campus recruitment, hiring interns, I actually checked their Facebook profile because we didn't want anyone, with a glass of beer in in their LinkedIn, in their Facebook profile, like applying to, and like bringing all this craziness to LinkedIn. But that's something like me personally used to do. But it's really up to the recruiter again.
Yeah, that should not influence the hiring decision, right? Because if they're not holding a glass of beer on their profile,
that should not. It's, but actually, like I always checked. I was like, oh my God, is this person too crazy? It's going to be, like a good candidate. So it's going to be a good, intern. I always checked. But, again, it's really up to the recruiter. And I know hiring managers, and I know recruiters here in Brazil, they check Facebook as well.
Yeah,
They
that should
do.
not
Impact the
unless you are
decision,
doing,
the hiring
yeah,
the hiring.
unless you're
I know.
preaching for, you know, illegal stuff and things like that, which I don't think it would be the case of who's watching here. But that should not influence the decision, because it's not really assessing your ability to perform in that position. You know, the fact that you're whatever you're doing on your profile, that should not. We are not living in an ideal world, unfortunately. Maybe we will there. Try to minimize the opportunity of not getting a role because of that. If you want to become professional on Facebook, on Instagram, depending on what you do, I will be all up for it. And maybe you can even, link your profiles onto your CV, for example, because you're doing a good professional work on that side as well, and it will be a plus to your profile and your opportunity.
Yeah. And it's actually a very good question and a hot topic to talk about that, because I know LinkedIn is one of the top companies, top internet companies, and the recruitment team actually gets a lot of training in regards to unbiased decisions and, like try to don't influence the hiring decision, and like focus on race and gender and all these things. But guys, you have to remember, my international professionals, it's not all companies that have this power to train the recruitment team. So like, yes, it shouldn't influence, have your life open on Facebook or a life open on LinkedIn. But, just to be on the safe side, leave your profile private, because it can influence.
Yeah, or it could, maybe it's not an organization that you want to work for. If that's something that's going to influence the decision. For example, maybe it wouldn't be for me. If someone was making their decision based on my Facebook, it is private anyway, but let's say they have access when they Facebook open to everyone, and they they see all the nice parties that I've been to 10 years ago, and they make a decision on that, I'll be okay. I'll find.
They would never say. They would never say. Look, Lais said, my last interview in Brazil, they asked my age and if I was single or had kids. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's really bad here in Brazil.
Yeah, that doesn't tell anything at all about your ability to perform in the role.
Exactly.
Sad. It's sad.
It's really sad. We have a good question here. During the interview, how can I talk about my factor wow? Do you have an example of an amazing wow factor that someone told you?
So wow factor, again, during the interview, ideally, as hiring teams and recruiters and then professionals, we are trying to be as objective as possible and trying to evaluate if your skills are a fit for the role that we are hiring for. The question, your wow factor, that doesn't give the candidates the right opportunity for them to shine and tell them about their experiences. What I want to know as a recruiter is, what have you done? How did you do it? What do you achieve? What were the results of that? What are your motivations? And that's usually what the hiring team, will be interviewing you on, based on your competency, on your experience, is going through experiences to try to evaluate how you're going to perform then on the future. You can wall the hiring panel, you can wall the recruiters with your preparation, knowing a lot about the company, being able to have a clear vision why you're applying for that opportunity, and then looking at the job description, which is your North Star. You're going to see all the group of skill sets that are needed for that position, and have well prepared and built answers for those. That's how you're gonna wow the panel. They're gonna say, "Wow, Leon's really prepared for the interview. I could see that, his motivations to join LinkedIn were really clear. His motivations to be in that role as well, really clear. He showed, his growth mindset and his ability to manage with stakeholders. It's all with answers and with preparation. That's how you're gonna wow that's how you're gonna wow. Yeah. Now, there could be organizations that are still, or that could be asking, those questions. What is your wow factor? And what they are usually trying to understand is, again, your job description is your north star, so that should guide you on that wow answer. What skill sets you are bringing on board based on the job descriptions and what it asks for the role, and how would you fit in or be an addition to that team.
Exactly. Very good. Julie saying, great tips. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so final question, because we have 15 minutes already. Jesus, it's really? We have already been, no, have we?
45 minutes, I think so, yeah.
Talking about 45 minutes. Oh my God, it flew. Time passed so fast. So, last question, because I want to know, what are Leon tips to international professionals?
Leon, oh, okay.
Yeah. Tips and best practices to help international professionals.
Yeah, so good question. What I would say is that's probably a lot that you have to think about, and a lot that you worry when you're thinking about your international careers. So start with the basics first. And as we talked now or until now, working on your LinkedIn profile, have it complete, start to build your LinkedIn profile complete. 2, start to build your network around the industry that you want to work on. Don't be sending invites to a lot of people on LinkedIn that would not be an addition to your journey. So again, LinkedIn profile complete. 2nd, build your network around the industry that you want to work on. 3rd, is start to be social on LinkedIn. And again, social is likes, shares, comments, and articles. And that should put you in a very good position to start applying for international roles whenever you are ready. So that will be, my basic top tips. And I say this because going through a lot of profiles, I see that not everyone has a complete profile, and not everyone is active on LinkedIn. Being active on LinkedIn is actually a challenge, to be honest. So do the basics first, and then once you are ready, maybe that's when you're gonna go to turn off channel, see all the other extra tips that she has on international career.
Yes. And also have recommendations. For me, recommendations are so powerful. So powerful. For example, this Jeremy, he is a talent acquisition in EMEA. I have done a training for the talent acquisition team at this company, and he has just wrote about my training on how to become a thought leader. So imagine like another client or another recruiter that comes to my profile and see this. It will go like, wow, okay, so this girl is an expert. She knows what she's talking about. Do you understand? It for me, this is a wow factor in everyone's profile. It's recommendations. But that's my opinion, right?
Recommendations are a very good thing to have as well. And it's very good to get into the habit of, you work with someone, ask them a recommendation. Why not? If you had a nice relationship while you were working, if you achieved something great, why not asking for recommendations? Don't look into mine because I have none.
I'm gonna ask a recommendation from you. So Leon worked in the same team. No, let's say you were as a client. You were my client. You were a client, right? So you years ago.
Interview practice. So about recommendation, it's nice that you make the life of others that are recommending you easier. So if you're going to ask recommendation from someone, it's nice for you to share as well with them maybe 2 or 3 points that you want them to address on that recommendation. So what happens is when they sit down to write the recommendation for you or on you, they won't be like, oh my God, what will I write about it? There's so much to write. So maybe, write a recommendation and talk about my presentation skills and LinkedIn knowledge. Thanks very much. Perfect.
Very good. Thank you, Leon. Thank you very much for being here in the channel, for sharing all this amazing content, your experience, your expertise. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you.
No worries at all. Thank you, Tana. Great to see the work that you are doing. Folks, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I will talk Portuguese with you guys there, I promise, if you want to. And happy to help you on your journey as well of becoming an international professional.
Exactly. And whoever is interested to know more or to see more content from Leon, he has over 2 hours of pure insights and content in our VIP membership area, and only Storani Careers clients have access. So go and check my website, www.storanicareers.com. And thank you very much, Leon. Thank you. And guys, see you in the next YouTube video. Bye.
Adios.